Imagine the most powerful being in all of fiction. Not the most evil, not the most cruel, the most powerful. Now imagine that this being, this god above gods, had only one wish. 6 words. I want to be alone. That's it. No conquest, no destruction, no hatred, just a wish. And that wish nearly erased every universe that has ever existed. Because when absolute power meets the most human desire imaginable, the result isn't peace, it's annihilation. Today we're talking about Hajun, the 6th heaven, the god of the throne, the strongest being in the entire Shinza Bansho universe. And the only villain in fiction whose evil was never evil at all. To understand him, you have to start before his first thought, before his first breath, before he even had a name. He was born in India, into poverty, into nothing. From the moment he entered the world, it rejected him. He had a third eye on his forehead, and he felt nothing. No pain, no warmth, no hunger, no cold. The world touched him, and nothing reached him. Sound meant nothing. Light meant nothing. People meant nothing. It wasn't that he ignored reality. Reality simply never existed for him. And when the world realizes someone doesn't belong, it pushes them out. He had no family, no name, no place. Just a child with a third eye and an emptiness where a soul should have been. But he was never truly alone. Inside the womb, before birth, he had a twin, stillborn. A soul that refused to disappear, and instead clung to his. From his very first breath, Hajun felt something, a presence. He couldn't see it, couldn't locate it, couldn't understand it, but it was there, touching him, always. 8,000 years ago, a Buddhist cult called the Samsara Vartan searched for a vessel to create a god. They chose him, not because he was strong, but because he was empty. They gave him a name, Hajun, and then they buried him alive. Not as punishment, as ritual. They sealed him inside a 5-fold mausoleum designed to remove everything. No light, no sound, no sensation, total void. For anyone else, it would have been death. For Hajun, it was almost relief. Almost. Because even in perfect nothingness, he still felt it. That presence. That single sensation in a universe of silence. And for the first time in his existence, something inside him moved. He did not ascend for revenge. He did not ascend for power. He did not ascend to rule. He ascended because he believed, if he went far enough beyond existence, he could finally be alone. His soul tore upward, breaking through layers of reality, until it reached the throne itself. The goddess of the 5th heaven, Marie, whose law granted wishes, felt him. And in the cruelest irony imaginable, she fulfilled his. She gave him everything. The throne, the power, the universe. He killed her instantly. Not in anger, not in hatred, the way you brush away dust, because even as a god, he still wasn't alone. And now his wish became a law. I want to be alone. My body is mine alone. When Hajun's law spreads, reincarnation stops. Souls no longer cycle. Every being begins killing each other. Not for survival, not for war, just killing. The stronger their ego, the stronger they grow until they destroy themselves. Every death becomes permanent. No afterlife, no rebirth. Existence begins collapsing inward. Reality shrinking toward nothing. All because one god wanted silence. Only one being remained untouched. Ren Fuji. He knew he couldn't defeat Hajun, so he did the only thing he could. He stuck across all creation. For 8,000 years, he held reality frozen. Not to win, just to delay the inevitable. Even frozen, Hajun's influence leaked. People became colder, more isolated, more selfish. Because somewhere, a god radiated solitude. Now here's what nobody tells you about Hajun. That presence he had felt since before birth was his twin. A stillborn soul clinging to him, hiding, growing, feeding. For 8,000 years, Hajun hated something he could never identify. His desire for solitude, the collapse of existence, all of it came from that single contradiction. A god who demanded absolute isolation was never alone. When the twin was finally extracted, the perfection shattered. Not power, not strength, a flaw. The most powerful being in fiction, broken by the one thing he could never remove, his own brother. Hajun was never evil. He was simply a being for whom existence itself was unbearable, because existence meant other things existed too. All he ever wanted, since before his first breath, was silence. He died never knowing what the presence was, never knowing it was his brother, reaching for him in the dark. 6 words. I want to be alone. My body is mine alone. And that was enough to nearly end everything.